Hey, everybody. I am Brody Newton. I'm with Colonel's Coffee. We are proud to be a sponsor of the Summit Games again this year. It's one of the premier fitness competitions in the country. It's happening in September in Salt Lake City. I'm here with Brigham. He's the guy behind all of it. He's going to give you an inside look of what's coming. Brigham, thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Yeah, Brody, thanks for having me, man. Really appreciate your time and Colonel's Coffee being a sponsor. Got mine here is the best for sure. So I prefer the cowboy blend or the African blend.
Well, thank you for always supporting us and kind of keeping it going. Let's start at the top.
Yeah.
What are the Summit Games and how did this event come to kind of come to life?
Yeah, so the Summit Games is a health and wellness expo, fitness festival that is in Harriman, Utah, at the Zions Bank Training Center. And this is the second year we've been in that location and that venue facility, and it is awesome. It is a elite facility. We're really happy to partner with the people over at the Zions Bank Training Center Arena. But yeah, how the event came about was about 8, 10 years ago. I was managing CrossFit Cedar City, and we were doing a thankful throwdown around the holidays, and we were taking the money that we were making from the event and giving it to some families in need, and just choosing a new family every year. And it really was just such a fun competition and experience of community that really started to kind of grow its own community, if you will. And I've been traveling, going to the games. My wife and I had gone to the games. We'd gone to the regional events, the old school regional events, and we'd gone to a lot of different fitness festivals and competitions. And they were some of our favorite experiences, our best experiences in life, and the ability to improve and get better and meet unique but very similar people to like-minded in philosophies and values and in fitness, right? So we were in Cedar City. We live in Cedar City, and we started the Iron Games and did it in Cedar City for 5 years in Iron County. Why it had the name the Iron Games there. And then we decided to move it to Salt Lake, rebranded to the Summit Games, and brought it closer to much of our community and crowd that was coming from the Salt Lake area, and then made it a lot easier for people to travel into, less expensive in terms of getting additional flights. And yeah, my wife and I are continuing to run it. We're both the owners of it. My wife Sarah, and we are, this year donating to a nonprofit called Quick Reaction Force Up, which is dedicated to getting a free app in every state that provides mental health resources to first responders and veterans, and provides them even with someone one to one that they can work with and talk to. That's typically a previous first responder or veteran and that understands their situations, can have a lot of empathy there. And so we're really excited about partnering with Quick Reaction Force Up, and they're coming out from Georgia, as well as Grey Group Tactical, which is providing weighted vests for many of the athletes and podium divisions that we have. So really excited about where we've been, where we are, and where we're going.
Yeah, it's that facility is amazing. I was at the Iron Games as well, and I will be honest with you, the move to Salt Lake has been awesome, and the facility there at Zions Bank is it's great. Outdoor, indoor, all of it's amazing. What
Awesome.
makes this competition different? You've already kind of hit on some of it with the QRF and that kind of stuff, but what else makes this year's kind of competition different from other fitness events around the country?
Yeah, I think one is you can't beat Utah in September
Oh,
and fall. There's no questions about it, inside or outside. The experience to be in those mountains. There's so many other good things going on in Utah, Salt Lake, the Harriman area at that time, and so it's a great trip to just take in general. I think that's something that separates us. But more importantly, and even a better reason, is really it's a well-rounded test, and it's programmed with Adrian Conway with True Fitness. And for those of you that are maybe newer to CrossFit, Adrian is an OG when it comes
yeah.
to coaching the games. He has a strength and conditioning background. Won the team games events 3 times, and 2 times when it was the team of six. 3 females and 3 male, and was a huge part of developing brute strength as brute became a powerhouse, and then now has started his own True Fitness. And so we're proud to partner with them and have them with programming. Well-rounded tests for us this year. It looks like we're having a 1 rep max back squat. And so
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of other big strength events, one rep maxes for some of the other events that have been going on. So we're excited to continue testing strength as we normally have, as well as then adding with that back squat, you've got to go and do a max pull up hang after that, after a minute rest. So excited to see the balance there and how that plays out, as well as we've announced an obstacle course. So that definitely separates us from other events of how we're testing speed, agility, reaction time, and balance, and providing something that people aren't doing in the gym normally at all, right? And then we have always, typically had a long endurance event. We haven't announced that yet, but on its way. So, in years past, we had, the Iron Cup, which was a plethora of sandbag launches.
We don't talk about that one out loud.
Yeah,
We don't
people
talk
don't
about
like
that
to talk about that one out loud.
one.
And it had quite some long running distances in between there. And but this one actually, we're really excited to make it simple, to make it really all about how well developed the engine capacity is for the athlete in running. So we're excited about that. And then we've also got a new implement that we're bringing into the
Ooh,
contest. So in years past, the things that we've done were we had shorty bars, which were definitely different from some of the local and more regional competitions, and then having deficit handstand push-ups, also bringing in rapid rings and being able to utilize ring muscle ups and other ring programming from the ease of using those rings and having that automatic adjustment strap. And we had actually in the first or second year, we actually had running jump rope. People had to run a distance and jump rope at the same time. So yeah, we've always been trying to challenge some boundaries there. And this year we've got a new implement, a new piece of equipment that we're excited about, that is going to be familiar to people, but a little bit different. And we partnered with Freebell, who develops a movable dumbbell, if you will, movable
yeah.
kettlebell that you have to use more balance of smaller muscles in your shoulders and extremities to be able to operate this piece of equipment. So we're really excited about working with them, partnering with them this year, and we'll be announcing that workout soon.
Yeah. There's been a lot of really cool things through the years where you made people have to learn something new, but also it wasn't so crazy where it just looked silly. Also, it's been a great job by Adrian and you guys on adding new movements, new ideas in there without it seeming just completely off the wall and made up. So,
Yeah, and some feedback we got from, the last couple of years was like, "Hey, let's like do a little bit more typical or like traditional CrossFit WOD as well." And so
yeah,
we've looked at that a little bit, and so we've got a couple of workouts like that. So I'm really excited about how the program is going to be challenging this year, and it is going to be a well-rounded test like Adrian has programmed. And at the
yeah,
same time, we're not throwing in anything cute to have these variables that are ever changing or going to catch the athlete not knowing the rules, not knowing how
right.
to use equipment. So we're really excited about, it's still going to be familiar, and it's not going to be athletes wondering where they're going to get caught in
Yeah.
the workout or in the weekend.
Yeah. Being on both sides of it as an athlete and then also as helping all of the other kind of stuff. I appreciate sometimes the simplicity of it to just go find the fittest one that's there and kind of to have the most fun that we can. So y'all have done a really great job with that throughout all the years. Zion's Bank Academy. So how did y'all decide on that facility? I mean, it's amazing, but how did y'all decide on that and how did that become an option?
It is. It really is amazing. So, when we decided to move up to Salt Lake, we looked at several different options. And Zions Bank honestly was lower on the list when we started. And then just as we looked at it and as they kept contacting us and wanting us to be there, we really, felt that that was a positive relationship to lean into. And so, really appreciate Mitch and Q. Those are the guys that we work with over there at the training center. And yeah, the choice just came down to, we wanted to make sure that we had a facility that didn't expose the athletes consistently to other elements. Previously we were in a horse arena, right? And so there was
Yeah.
an issue with that with some people, right? And rightfully so. But that was, it was just the best location we had at the time. And so now being indoor in, a turfed area, no dirt, no kick ups from wind, things like that, is
Yeah.
is great. And the ability to have restrooms and food right there. I mean, basically, we can be in this facility for 4 days and not have to leave, and all of the things that we need are there. And so that was definitely something that we looked at. And then the ability to, put people under the lights, if you will.
Yeah.
So that was inside or outside, we could make that feel special. Make that highlight be on them, and feel more like it's on them, and a place where we can have a lot of creativity and
Yeah.
not be constrained by the space as well. So it's two indoor soccer fields, and then yeah, we have a lot of space to play with and to make sure that everybody's comfortable. Be it your family coming, bring your tent or just blankets and chairs, and you guys can camp out there. Or hey, we've got family activities and games that people can be doing and participating in. People will be able to do the obstacle course throughout the weekend and other fun fitness challenges that are going on. And yeah, we have the space to do that. And that's just overall, I think, like you said, you walk in and it's kind of some wow factor right off the bat. So yeah, we're really excited about the facility.
Okay, and then typically the Summit Games has some pretty large, like big names out there in the fitness community. Is there any of them that you can talk about yet that you're expecting to show up, or any kind of standout athletes or teams that you can talk about at this time?
Yeah, so really excited to have Hannah Thompson come out from Texas, one of your guys' athletes as well. And so in the women's division, expecting to see a great weekend from her, and her challenging the whole field and rising the whole
Yeah.
field up. And then on the guys' side, we've got Max Vocal, Brian Harper, Carter Peterson, and Dallas Feelful. I'm not sure if I'm
Okay.
saying that correctly, but and those are some of those guys did a competition in the past this last year, and so excited to see them come back out and compete. In years past, it's been cool to get someone like a Luke Parker that came
Yeah.
up through that when he was just joining CrossFit, and Chance Ramos, who's won it, let's see, twice, I believe. And then also Drake Lewis, who has been continually growing and rising in the sport, who has also won the event twice, I believe. I don't think it's three times yet. I think he's got to come back this year to win.
We're working on it.
Yeah, right. So it's been really satisfying for us to see elite athletes coming in and people that are in that regional area and really trying to rise into the next level for games, or from barely missing semifinals to rising up into making semifinals. And so we've always appreciated how bigger athletes have used our compass preparation or used it as a challenge to work on new skills, or as their Super Bowl, if you will, for their event of the year.
Yeah, it's been really cool seeing some of the names there that finish really high, and then you get to go see them at the regionals or semifinals, kind of whatever you want to call it this year. And most of them have pretty successful showings there too. So that's been kind of cool to be able to follow some of those athletes from Summit Games where they kind of use that as a breakout and then just keep the momentum rolling.
Yeah, that was pretty cool too in the past with, I mean, so like Chloe Wilson,
Yep.
um, and then also Kyra. So Kyra Milligan,
Yep.
when she came in years past and really, came and did well in the competition, and then continued to go from there. And again, not that we're the reason necessarily, right? Not trying to take credit for anybody, but definitely been an awesome part to play.
Yeah, I mean, even like Davis and Rachel and quite a few of those athletes that have come through there's quite a few of them that have been really high at Summit Games that have continued on to those semifinals levels, and it's been cool to follow them. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them, so it's been fun to watch those kids. I guess I get to call them kids, so
Yeah, right.
we'll see.
I'm getting there too.
Um, One of the coolest things is like kind of how the community is focused on these fitness games and that kind of stuff. What kind of role has that played to help build the Summit Games as it's kind of transitioned into Salt Lake? And what has that kind of played into the success of the Summit Games growing?
Yeah, I mean, community is everything. And so it's been huge to have the support from communities like Salty Hive CrossFit and Salt Lake CrossFit and Wasatch CrossFit and the Movement Training Day. And others in the past have been Lehigh as well, and Saratoga Springs and CrossFit The Point. And so, you know, yeah, you can't do it without those communities, and those communities coming, not just a few athletes or a couple of athletes, always make the experience that much more improved and better. And I think like our overall bigger picture or goal with this event and with CrossFit gyms or fitness gyms, right, is that we're creating a lifestyle where we're always making movement a priority and we're always challenging ourselves to break down barriers of limiting beliefs physically, emotionally,
Yeah.
mentally. And so events are such a great way to do that. And going to the gym and doing something hard is such a great way to do that. And when you're with a community of like-minded people, that just adds so much value to the event as a whole. And so definitely been appreciative of all those gyms and their support in the past through volunteers, athletes, and bringing additional spectators and others as well that have come from Idaho and Vegas, Project
Yeah.
Fitness in Vegas, Idaho, CrossFit Savo, and many others that have always been supporters who like CrossFit up there in Idaho. So yeah, we've been really appreciative of those in the different pockets that have continually showed up every year. And so thank you to those gyms for sure.
Yeah, it's been amazing being a part of the all of this kind of in the couple years that I have and the kind of the web that y'all have that's keeps expanding to different states and different areas, different gyms, and even different types of gyms. It's been really cool to see that just from the outside looking in. That's been a lot of fun. So um, what are some of the biggest challenges that come with organizing an event like this where it continues to scale and you get those big names that we're talking about, but also keeping it still personal where people can go to Brigham, people can go to Adrian and have a little bit of input and you guys can ask questions and get feedback from that community that you're talking about.
Yeah, I think some of the biggest challenges for me, it sometimes feels like you're operating on everybody else's schedule sometimes, which yeah, I think that that's normal though when you're trying to deal with so many different people and be accommodating and figure out how to make it personable to them. And so, glad, grateful to have that as a problem or an opportunity, if you will, right? So, I think some of the biggest challenges are just like continually educating on what we know we can, offer for sure, and then you're always like wary. Hey, there's these 4 or 5 things that I think are going to happen, but I don't know for sure that they're going to happen. So I can't really say anything about it yet. Right. And whether that's like vendors or sponsors that are coming but they're not going to let you know for sure for another few months
Yeah.
or athletes you're just waiting to sign up, after they're done with their regional season and competition. So yeah, and then just trying to make it, yeah, personable for everybody. I think one of the ways that we, try and do that is, checking in with people as much as possible, whether that's a text message, a call, or, through Instagram. And then at the event for sure, just trying to engage with everybody's world, if you will, right? Everybody is passionate about what they're doing when they come to these events and passionate about the mission that they're on for their business or their competitiveness or their just overall health and how they're just setting a goal and they're just choosing to accomplish it. And so really trying to extract from people and listen to them about why they're there, what value they're getting and what would make it better is the best part about it. And but yeah, it takes a lot of work and it takes listening to feedback all the time and not taking things personally or
Yeah.
so yeah, those are some of the challenges, but yeah, very grateful for them and grateful for people when they, give their feedback. We were talking about it right before the call, just kind of as an entrepreneur or even in these or as a business owner, you're always trying something new, to get outside of the box you've been living in. If you're not innovating, you're dying. And so,
Yeah.
definitely trying to stick to what you know and what you can be consistent at, but then also like, where am I moving the needle on whether it's providing a better experience with technology or providing a better experience with things at the event. And yeah, and then just inserting those into the event.
Yeah. So you mentioned the sponsors and the athletes, so we'll kind of that's a perfect transition into what the next couple of questions I have for you are. But we are a sponsor and we kind of understand like how these things kind of fuel the whole thing, like the summit games, like the volunteers have to be there, all of these other kind of people. But how important are sponsors to events like this? And like how do you choose who to partner with?
Yeah, sponsors are vital, and sponsors, vendors, partners, and we're really looking to partner with people that give value in real life events, right? And I used to teach high school and really like a dropout prevention program in the high school. And we would talk often about how technology is going to continue to become more prevalent, and that means that things will get easier for people. They'll be able to use it more. It means that your interactions with others will become more and more valuable because people will want to interact with people that they enjoy working with. And that, yeah. And so that's where I think that we're looking, for sponsors that are like that, right? They see these in real life events as opportunities to engage with their community that's been supporting them all year long and bring new people into that fold, right? And that's something I think that you guys do great with Colonel Coffee, and a lot of our vendors do is, hey, we're not just trying to just shove something down your throat, but let's talk about lifestyle. Let's talk about
Yeah.
the goals that you have, and let's work together on that. Let's be a part of that. And so sponsors are huge, especially in regards to providing the best experience you can for volunteers and for the athletes. Being able to put something of, basically of your marketing, of your branding, to give value to these volunteers that are showing up means they're going to want to come get something from your
Yeah.
booth and buy it, and vice versa. Same with the athletes, right? So I've always found that the more value you can provide and the more you can just be a good, decent human being and relate to people, then people want to be a part of what you're doing and help you accomplish your goals and dreams, right? So yeah, always looking for sponsors, partners that way. And then, additionally, I think it's been really cool. It's actually something I didn't know, and like putting this event together is it's been really cool to be a part of some brands like initial growth. For example, like Steadfast Energy Drinks,
Yeah.
who was also there last year. Like they were some kids that I taught in high school and started this
Yeah.
business. And so, it's cool to be a part of helping brands and sponsors get their message out to people and introduce them to
Yeah.
people to market and to network. And yeah, I've really appreciated that opportunity.
That's really cool. I met those guys last year, and that was an awesome story that you guys have. So
Yeah.
it's really cool. And then going back to it, like, is there a vibe or just like an experience that whenever people walk through the doors, is there like an aim that you have for that?
Yeah, some words I was thinking of is just authenticity, effort,
Yeah.
gratitude, and empathy and competition.
Yeah.
So those are some of the words that I think of that come to mind of the vibe, because the true meaning of competition is to strive together. So I really value that true meaning, and that we should always be competing, and it should always be to help bring out the best in each other.
Yeah.
In regards to empathy, I really people are that person working out on the floor is, could be 35 years old and is doing this to, this was the thing that they put their mind to train
Yep.
for, to get away from a death in the family.
Yep.
And so there could be some feelings that come out if they get no reps.
Yep.
And, I want our volunteers and judges and people to keep the standards, but also
Right.
respond with empathy, right? And vice versa on all these different, that volunteer being there is like, could be barely making it there today. And
Yep.
they're, would rather not be there, but they're there to
Yeah.
help support that athlete, right? And so the same,
Yeah.
the same back and forth. And, gratitude, like what a grateful, what a, what a hard thing to be grateful for, right? We're going out, we're competing, we're tired from this exercise, we're tired from putting on an event where we're all hanging out together and being able to enjoy each other's company. I mean, yeah, there should be a lot of gratitude for that, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, so those are some of the things I think about. I want people to be authentic to themselves. I want them to come in and enjoy the event, hang out, play games in the athlete area. We're going to have different ones that we provide as well, but bring your own. And and whatever your goal is, whether that's an elite athlete or a scaled athlete, or you're in the hybrid division where you're male female team and it's you and your wife or you and your spouse competing.
Yeah.
I want everyone to know that what they're training for, what their goal is, what they're trying to accomplish, it's real, it's valid, and it's special to them, and we're just here to help bring out the highest potential in each person for 4 days. That's the goal.
I love it. I love it, man. And I can tell you firsthand, being on both sides of the gate there, it truly comes out. All of those things come out. So, absolutely in every way. I've got two more for you. So, for
Appreciate it.
people that are sitting at home and watching this, thinking of attending, thinking of signing up, why should they mark their calendars for September 11th through the 14th?
Yeah, so September 11th through the 14th, really, like we were just saying, is 4 days for you to challenge who you're trying to be as a human being, good and bad. And it's to bring out the best in you as a person. It's to expose you to new things, new thoughts, new ideas. And if you're thinking about coming, like, know that I can guarantee you that if you come with humbleness and just wanting to connect with other people and those previous traits we
Yeah.
talked about, you're going to get the value that you need out of that weekend, because people are going to pour into you as well on anything. You could you go to events and you talk about big wins or you talk about a big loss, and someone always says something that's like, that was it, I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
And but also, we're always looking to, as people, to upgrade our lifestyle if we can. And again, I promise you, guarantee that coming to this for any amount of time over the 4 days is going to bring that value, whether that's you're competing in the event, you're volunteering and connecting with other people, and seeing what these athletes are doing, you're signing up to just come and spectate,
Yeah.
you're coming out and participating in the obstacle course and just in the games, and you're exposing your kids and your family to how to stay active. This is not just
Yeah.
about being a CrossFitter or about being a high performing fitness athlete. This is about, can you get up off the ground with your kids, and do you enjoy
Yeah.
it? And are you happy
Awesome.
about it when you do it? And pain and inability to move and restrictions higher the chance that it's not enjoyable. Right. So yeah, that's definitely one reason why you want to come to this event. You want to come and interact with people who are trying to have the highest quality of life in the gym, outside the gym, and interacting with their relationships as well, to maximize the impact that you're able to have while you're here.
Yeah. There's good food, there's free coffee that's amazing. There's good people and amazing athletes. The
Yep.
and I
Not
will vouch for all of those.
Yeah, not to mention when you come out, you're gonna get free coffee,
Yeah.
access to clothing vendors that are not
Yeah.
typically found. LRX is coming out, PR Apparel, and others that are coming. So the opportunity
The
to
vendors that have been there have actually been really cool, and I made good connections with them where we actually follow each other kind of on all the social medias and that kind of stuff now, and it's been a good little networking opportunity, so that's been a good thing also.
absolutely, and there's the opportunity to get coaching and to get training from
Yeah.
from Adrian and other people that are on his
Yeah.
staff, and other. There's going to be so many gym owners, so many coaches, so many experts in not just CrossFit, but in yoga, in
Yeah.
physical therapy, in recovery and wellness, in health, in cooking and food cooking, and so you can learn one thing when you come out from interacting with these vendors, and get a little swag along the way that's going to
Yeah.
upgrade your lifestyle.
Absolutely. And then lastly, like, what is the best way for people to stay up to date on everything Summit Games? What's the best way for them to keep up with you?
Yeah, so the best way to keep up and stay updated is Instagram, the summit.games, and then our website, thesummitgames.com. Those will be the best two places to stay in tune. Links in the Instagram that take you to
Yeah.
Competition Corner, where you can have the updates there on workout announcements and standards as those come out as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Brigham. I know you're busy. If you it would have been really cool if you left like some secret workout back there behind you up, but you didn't do it. So, thanks for not helping us out with that, but
Yeah, that's
that's
all
all right.
Adrian tomorrow. That's all
Yeah,
Adrian
I've got
tomorrow.
a call with him, so maybe I can get him to sneak one up back there for us or
Love
something.
it.
But thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
I'm really looking forward to being up there. I might go out there like a week early just so I can hang out with you guys again, but
Awesome.
thank you again for your time, Brigham. We're looking forward to it, man.
Hey, thank you, Brody, and thank you, Colonel's Coffee, for the support and having us on here today.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Well, it was good to see you, and I'll see you here in a little bit.
See you guys in September.
All right.